sacrifice. It's no sacrifice at all. But yeah, guys, I got that song stuck in my head. I got two songs stuck in my head these days, both from Elton John. Sacrifice and Nikita. I don't know if you guys heard of those two songs. Those are the songs that are playing in my head over and over again. You know, guys, friend of Brian on the podcast, we talk a lot about, you know, how the 80s were. And I guess it's a normal thing in human nature to talk about how great things were, you know, in our youth, I guess you could say. But guys, I mean, like, you have to say that, I guess, and we always say this on the show, that, like, I think up until 1994, and then, like, basically even a little bit after that, all of the movies and the music, they had a certain element to them. You know, they had the Shekhinah. The Shekhinah was part of them. They had a soul, and when I say soul, I don't mean like soul music, you know, necessarily R&B, black music. I'm talking about soul as in they had a neshama. The Shekhinah was there. It was present. You could tell. You know, guys, if you ever listen to like remakes today, somebody made like let's say they make a remake of an 80s song, it literally sounds like it's being sung by like even though you can clearly hear it's a person singing, it sounds like it's being sung by you know, like a replicant. You guys ever see Blade Runner? Replicant, droid, whatever. That's what it sounds like. Why? Because the neshama has been sucked out. The Sitra Achra has sucked out the neshama and the you know, and the Shekhinah out of everything. You know, we're just talking about movies, right? For example, like the Batman movies, you could see prime example. Some of you guys may say, well, we like the dark element, right? But guys, I mean, how much darker can you get? The latest movie was so dark you can't even see the guy. You can't even see the character. It's just black. They try to make you go blind. You know, like my friend Ephraim says, you know, they try to make you go blind. And that's what's happening. You know, you guys could see it. And that's why, like, you know, guys, I mean, you could say whatever you want, but I listen to 80s music and 90s music. That's the last time, really, in totality, let's say, that mainstream, I'll get a caveat to that, mainstream music was any good. It hasn't been good since then, guys. You can say it's my opinion, this. I had an argument with a friend of mine, and I couldn't explain it to him. I could not explain it to him. And I was trying to tell him, you know, like, everything is pop now and this and corny. He goes, yeah, but there was always pop music and it was always corny. There was always, in every era you had that. I'm like, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I couldn't put into words, and finally my friend Ephraim came along and helped me verbalize what I was trying to explain to my friend who's a musician. I said, I was trying to tell him, like, man, you could have the same song performed in the 80s and the 70s, the 90s, and then that same song today, it doesn't sound the same. I don't know if they're doing, you know, you guys ever hear the whole 433 hertz thing, you know, changing the tonality. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but it just sounds, everything today sounds awful. Unless it's like, the good music is pretty much underground or not known by most people. And you guys say, oh, there's some good artists today. There are good artists out there today, but everything sounds, I don't know. It just sounds like the neshama has been sucked out of it. It just sounds too, almost like too produced, you know? It just sounds too, you know, everything, there's like, you know, they brought in like auto-tune and this and that. Nothing has soul anymore. Nothing has a neshama anymore. Nothing has happiness anymore. There's no, and you could say, well, there's a lot of music that's like happy. When I say happiness, I'm talking about actual joy that comes from the neshama, not this like instant gratification happy, a song about being instantly gratified. I'm talking about actual, like they used to sing songs about like, scorpions, winds of change, or something. They sang about like how literally, the Berlin Wall came down, and how communism was ending in the Soviet Union, and how there's going to be like a new, era, and like it's like a new world, not a new world order, like a new world. They used to sing about that kind of stuff. Rappers used to sing about consciousness, about like not, I don't know, being involved in crime anymore, about not murdering each other, about treating women good, about this, about that. They used to sing about real things, guys. I don't know what they're singing about anymore. I really don't know what they're doing. They're doing like bird noises and clicks. I don't know what they're doing. What are they doing? It's just odd. Even like the 80s bands you guys used to hear. Everybody wants to rule the world. They used to sing about that. Now, even if they're singing about something meaningful, I don't understand what they're saying. It's unintelligible. I don't know. It's almost like, my friends, the Sitra Achra has taken over music and movies and entertainment. It used to be a thing of like I was just watching these like Johnny Carson, like in the 80s even. The guests used to come on. It was just like, you could say stuff. Comedians could say stuff. They could say things about. I remember, like, I saw a thing where Johnny Carson, Bob Saget comes on and he shows like a picture, supposedly of Johnny Carson as a baby. It wasn't really actually Johnny Carson, but it kind of looked like him. And then Bob Saget's like, I think this is actually a girl. And Johnny's like, and this is like 1989, so this is Johnny's like, oh yeah, I was ambivalent as a baby. Basically, like, what he's saying is a joke. At that time, I didn't have a gender. And Bob's like, yeah, at 23, you just decided that you're going to be a guy, like a man. Can you imagine if they said that joke today, guys? Can you imagine what silence would be in the audience? And then what would happen in the media if I don't know, Jimmy Fallon said such a joke today? Guys, these people would be put on a stick. Their heads would be on a stick. But guys, that's what I'm saying. Like, just the freedom and the joy and the neshama and the Shekhinah has been taken out of everything. And my friend says Shekhinah while driving. Yes, Shekhinah while driving. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the road. I'm looking at nothing but the road, not at the camera. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's just crazy. What else? I was talking to Ephraim. I can't remember what I was talking to him about. Specifically, we were just talking about movies. I think it was something within music. Anyway, guys, I mean, that's what it is. That's what the Sitra Achra has done. And I always go back to, he was saying that, he told me like a certain moment in his life where he went to Israel, 1998 into 1999, and he went to yeshiva, and then he got back to America in the year 2000 or 2001, and he goes to me, dude, all of a sudden I got back, and you know what the best song was? Spice Girls, and like Britney Spears, and like these guys, and like he's like, there was literally nothing good. Not one of these top artists, it was anything good. There was a few of these songs here and there, but most of the stuff was like really, really, really bad. It was like really horrible and just like really, really bad. It wasn't good. And he's just like, that's when he started seeking out, the underground house music stuff, in the New York scene. Baruch Hashem, at least the scene, New York had a scene at that time for like actually good music that had a neshama. And that's actually when I started seeking that out, because I just couldn't take it myself. I understand what he was saying. And he told me, he's like, when he got back to America, the thing that made him crazy was that no one else saw what he was seeing. He was just like, maybe one other person, but besides one other person, he's like, people were just like, I was like, are you guys zombies? Are you guys not noticing what's happening here? And he was trying to figure out, and he realized that, like, it's crazy. Like, listen, guys, without going into a thing of like, listen, I'm personally not a Meshachist. I don't believe the Rebbe is Mashiach. But guys, there is something that happened. There is something that happened in the world when the Lubavitcher Rebbe passed away. It started happening. It was a process that started happening in 1994, and literally everything, like maybe 4 or 5 years later, went to crap. I'm talking about movies, comedy, sports went to crap, music went to crap. Literally, for the or big part of it. Again, not everything is crap. I don't mean to sound like some dystopian, I don't know, pessimist, whatever it is. But a lot of things, guys, in the mainstream, that were in the mainstream, went really south really quickly, guys. And you could see in pop culture, and then by extension in society, morality started declining and declining and declining. You could say, well, this has happened before in society. True, but guys, I'm talking about America and the West. Started declining and declining and declining and declined so much that you incrementally see. And honestly, ironically, guys, what really took off at that time, at least in the Jewish world, the Baal Tshuva movement. Because people were seeing that everything is losing its Shekhinah, everything is losing the Neshama, and people started, myself, I started seeking things out already earlier than that, but let's say 2007, 2008, 2009, and leading into, and finally 2011, I started keeping Shabbat and learning Torah on a regular basis, guys. I mean, because people started seeing, anybody with a spiritual sensitivity could see that, like, stuff is just not right. Something is wrong. The 80s ended, all the brightness and all the Shekhinah, and then early 90s and even the late 90s, and that's it. We were just saying yesterday, ever since the OJ trial, that's it. We watched the guy driving being chased by the cops on a Ford Bronco with his friend, and became a public trial. Guys, by the way, the daughter of OJ's best friend, Robert Kardashian, who was his daughter, one of the most popular shows on TV, became the most popular show on TV as a result of that. This whole culture, keeping up with Kardashians, Paris Hilton, guys. I mean, like, need I say more? And this trial, by the way, happened, I think, 2 weeks after the passing of the Rebbe. I remember it was the finals. The Knicks were in the finals with, and one of the games, they cut into one of the games. You couldn't even see the end of the game. I think it was when Starks went 0 for 17, and they just showed you the chase. I'm like, I don't care about this damn chase. Show me the damn Knicks Rockets game. I don't care about this stupid car chase, And they went back to the game eventually. They were like, oh man. And even the commentator, I think it was Bob Costas, like, whoa, that's that's really crazy there. Whatever, Chuck, whoever his partner was. I was naming some white guy, Chuck, Bob, Stu. Yeah, guys. I mean, but I think that interestingly enough, guys, I'll end off on this. Somebody just pointed this out to me, that apparently, how in Judaism we wish people on their birthday, we wish them Ad Mea Esrim. May you live until 120. Guys, that Nisan, the 11th of Nisan, Yud Aleph Nisan, is the Rebbe's birthday. This year, it is going to be the Lubavitcher Rebbe's, would have been Lubavitcher Rebbe's 120th birthday. And actually, there's a Chabad, I think there's these guys from Morristown, they want to have a parade, around Jersey, and they want to do a whole thing in, actually where I'm living now in New York. That's supposed to be interesting, and I'm curious what they're going to do in Crown Heights. This is going to be a big thing, guys. And I don't know, guys, looking around, again, don't get me wrong, I'm no Meshachist. I don't know if Lubavitcher Rebbe is Mashiach. I tend not to think that. He could have been, but he ended up not being. But guys, looking around what's going on, I really hope that, after we celebrate the Rebbe's would-be 120th birthday, and then after we get through Pesach this year, which is in a couple of weeks, B'ezrat Hashem, we should greet Mashiach. Because, guys, I don't know about you guys, I've had just about enough of this no Shekhinah situation, no neshama, no anything situation. And this includes the music and the movies and the comedy and all this kind of stuff, because it's just, all those things, guys, are a reflection of the reality, of the spiritual reality that we've been living in, for at least 25 years, if not more. Anyway, guys, all right, Shabbat Shalom, and I'll talk to you soon.